ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्बोद्धूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात्कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 119. Murti pratyaya santyaktyam अन्यानन्तरितं धियः ध्यानं तत्रातिनिर्बन्धः मनश्चञ्चलात्मनः. So Vidyaranya is talking about Nididhyasanam in these verses, and we saw Nididhyasanam is of two types. One is a Samadhi Abhyasa Nididhyasanam and second is a Brahma Abhyasa Nididhyasanam. And of these two types, person can choose any one of the two. And in Brahmabhyasa Nididhyasanam, definitely the external conditions, posture, time, place, etc. are not important. Whereas in practice of a Upasana, we are comparing right now this Brahmabhyasa Nididhyasanam and Upasana. Whereas in practice of Upasana, they are very important. Posture is important, place is important, time is important, everything is important. So many other conditions also we have discussed. So they are important. Because you want to generate through Ishvara Dhyana Upasana, you want to generate Adrishta, Punya. So if you want to generate Punya, definitely you have to follow what Shastra says. Shastra only describes Punya Karma, right? And so definitely if you want to generate Punya Karma for a desired result, etc., ultimately you have to follow the rules given by the Shastra. Well, that is not the case with Nididhyasanam, because it is for Drishtaphala. One wants to get rid of a samsara. Samsara means a non-acceptance of oneself. Non-acceptance of oneself. A complaint regarding oneself is called samsara. All the time. How can you say that I am a dissatisfaction with oneself is samsara? How can you say that? Because you want to change yourself. The fact that you want to change yourself, you are not satisfied with yourself in present. That's it. More you are dissatisfied, more you are away from Vedanta. More you are dissatisfied and more you put efforts to change yourself from what you are right now. You are away from Vedanta. Going away and away and away. Thousands and thousands of miles you are going away. Therefore, because it's so simple, Vedanta says to appreciate what you are right now. And you don't want to appreciate yourself. Because whenever you look at yourself, you find totally a different type of a self, which Vedanta says that's a mithya self. So dissatisfaction with oneself is a samsara. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Whatever you are right now, that's it. Whatever you are right now, that's your wrong perception. I am so and so, wrong perception. I am is correct perception. I am so and so is a wrong perception. Vedanta tells to drop so and so. Because ultimately I am is important. Yeah, because I am is a constant factor. I am so and so is not a constant factor. It is all the time changing. I am good, I am bad. Everyone says like that. In certain situation you feel that you are good. In certain situation you feel you are bad. In certain situation you feel you are cruel. In certain situation you feel you are merciful. In certain situation you say I am husband, and then others I am a father. I am is very important. And therefore this fatherhood and motherhood and this hood and that hood and goodness and badness all require an adhishthanam. Adhishthanam is I am, which never changes. That's a satyam about you. So I stands for a consciousness. I stands for consciousness. And M stands for existence. That's all. That's your reality. Rest is mithya. And therefore, just I am. Understand that I am, the very existence and the consciousness which pervades each and everything, because of which everything shines and because of which everything exists. That existence consciousness which is limitless, that is you. Well, you are full. You are complete. Where is a question of changing now? Because of that mithya amsha, so and so factor, well, which is very limited, you want to change. You think that you become another so and so and will get fulfillment. That day never comes. A limited will result into limited thing. Any limited being, whatever he does, results into a limited thing. Your efforts are limited, time is limited, everything is limited. And therefore, whatever efforts you put with a limited body-mind sense complex to change, ultimately it results into a limited result, which you are not going to be satisfied. That's how Pujya Swami used to say, a life of becoming is a samsara. A life of becoming is a samsara. So Vedantic, the qualification for a Vedantic student is to appreciate what is right now. What I am right now. Most important. That's called Vairagyam. That's called Vairagyam. You have Vairagyam for everything. Then you are able to appreciate what is in the present. Otherwise you keep projecting and projecting and projecting about yourself. Anyway, this is just by the way. So we are interested in a drishtaphalam, in a nididhyasana. So no rule. Upasana adrishtam. So definitely you want certain result so that you can have a self-worth. When one gains certain things in life, one gets a self-worth. Otherwise one will have a self-loathe. Self-loathe. All the people, whatever may be the position in the world, so-called successful people also have a self-loathe. Everyone definitely condemns. Non-acceptance of oneself is all the time there. Because he is still progressing. He's thinking of another progress. In your eye and my eye, he is very successful. But in his eye, he is not. He says, I still want some progress. Therefore, the non-acceptance is there of himself, herself. Then only you think of progress. You want to become something else. Anyway. So, this is Vidyaranya says, a person, he's comparing here Upasana and Nididhyasana. Vidyaranya says, if a person tries to concentrate mind on a particular thought, there is a tremendous strain, that's in Upasana. Well, because mind can't hold on to a single type of a thought continuously. And therefore, Upasana is very, very difficult. Whereas in Nididhyasana, there is no insistence on holding a particular type of thought. Mind is to be absorbed into the teaching of Vedanta, Tattvamasi, and its corollaries, etc. So, for Upasana, well, definitely field is very restrained, field is very restricted. So we have said it is like walking on the rope, whereas Nididhyasanam is like walking on the road. Rope and road, that's the difference between the two. It's a wide road is there and you are walking. And therefore you go here and there and like that. That's not a problem. And walking on the rope means you have to be, you cannot go zigzag. You will fall down. Therefore, this is the difference between Upasana and Nididhyasana. So he is showing this difference in these verses, and he says how difficult it is to remain single pointed. And and we saw also, and then in verse 118 he said, he was talking about this Brahmabhyasa and Nididhyasanam. Of course he quoting. He has quoted from Yoga Vasishtha in verse 106. So he says, Purvameva upayah uktaha. Well, Nididhyasanam, which is for Drishtaphalam, to remove the pratibandhas, to remove obstacle. So ultimately you gain a nishtha, you gain a phalam, you gain a result of this knowledge, moksha, etc. Get a freedom. You will have a self-acceptance, total self-acceptance is possible. That's a condition of that is the joy. In any moment of joy there is a self-acceptance. When there is a rejection of oneself, there is no joy. In fact, that's a pain. So self is the one which is if I'm aware of the self which is really purna, full, then definitely there is a self-acceptance, total self-acceptance. And that's how the ananda is. Anyway, so this is the result one can gain once when the obstacles go away. And Nididhyasanam is a means for that, to remove the obstacles. And especially he is talking about a Brahmabhyasa Nididhyasanam, and he said, Purvameva upayaha uktaha. Nididhyasanam method is prescribed, discussed in 106, because right now we are on 119 or etc., 118. Therefore he says, Purvameva upayaha. I have quoted, I have talked about this Brahmabhyasa Nididhyasanam, and he has quoted from the Yoga Vasishtha. So Kathanam, Tat Kathanam. So he said, Tat Chinta Kathanadikaha, Tat Chinta. Thinking, dwelling upon Vedantic teaching is also Nididhyasanam. Kathanam, discussing, etc. Anyonam Prabodhanam, mutual sharing, listening, reading, all kinds of this. This is a Nididhyasana, by which your mind remains in the teaching. And etadeka paratvepi, in all these methods, in this reading and writing and all this, only one condition is there. That condition should be followed, and that condition is your thinking should be centered on these three components: Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva, Na Apara. These three things should be all the time should be taken care of. Whether you read, whether you listen, whether you discuss, all that. So this is Brahmabhyasa Nididhyasanam, which will remove the obstacles. So means you can start with the Annamaya Kosha, etc. And still the topic can be, and that is how Upanishad does. Upanishad starts from the Anatma, in fact. Upanishad introduces Anatma. Yeah? Upanishad introduces all Srishti. Srishti means Anatma. But he introduces. And from Srishti it takes you to from Anatma to Atma. Brahma Puchham Pratishta. Tasmad vai tasmad Atmanaha Akasha Sambhuta. Why are you introducing Akasha? We want to dwell upon Brahman. Why are you introducing all Akasha, Vayu and everything, and then again this body and this and that, and why Koshas and Shariras, and why you are discussing? Ultimately we are going to negate Mithya. Why you are introducing? We are introducing with the purpose that Brahma Puchham Pratishta. So Brahman is basically a Pratishtha, Adhishthanam of everything. And that Brahman is myself. If Brahman is Adhishthanam, what benefit I am going to get? I am a small jiva, which is a part of creation, which you have introduced. No, don't think so. You are Brahman, which is the Adhishthanam of this entire creation. That's how even it has been introduced. By saying Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, they say this Anatma which we have introduced is Mithya. That's how I said Brahma Satyam also can be the Nidhyasanam as well as Jagan Mithyatvam also is a Nidhyasanam. Both Atma Satyam, Anatma Mithya. Both types of Nidhyasanams. Jivo Brahma even Aparaha. Na Aparaha. He is not other than. I, the Jiva, is not none other than this Brahman. Because there is no Jiva. There is no Jiva. If Jiva entity is there, you cannot negate. Anything which is real, how can you negate? Non-negatable. Reality is a non-negatable. Therefore, individuality, if it's negated, means it is not there to begin with. Even if I negate sunrise, means it is not there. But I am experiencing sunrise. So what? What you experience is mithya. What you experience is mithya. Because of which all experience takes place is satyam. Experience vary. Because of which experience takes place do not vary. Otherwise no experience can take place. But experience keep on. Experience of a waking state, an experience of a dream state, an experience of a deep sleep state, all takes place. Therefore, this consciousness because of which experience takes place, not available for negation. Waking world is negated and dream world comes, and dream world is negated and this deep sleep comes, where the whole world is negated. And again it rises. But because of which even the presence or absence of a world takes place, including time and space, that's not available for negation. And therefore, definitely, I am non-negatable Brahman, consciousness. Brahma Satyam, Atma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Because it's the object of experience. Because it is changing. Because it has a guna. All this, Mithyatva. These are the characteristics of Mithyatva. Any object of experience is Mithya. Because of which the subject, because of which the experience of object takes place is Satya. Therefore, even that's how I am not using the word experiencer, because you will say, Swamiji, no experience, then experiencer also is not there. Fine. But the experiencer has a status of an experiencer because of the consciousness. You need a consciousness to experience anything. Presence, absence, anything. That's how you are able to talk about even absence of experience also. Because you experience even absence. Therefore, you are the one should be present. If world is present or not, time is present or not, space is present or not, that's fine. No problem. But I am independent of this world. Because if it is not there, still I am there to appreciate that there is no world. And therefore, I am the one which is beyond time. In absence of time, I do exist. Therefore, I am Satyam. Anyway, so Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, I am that reality, etc. And so, this is all the time dwell upon this. Either you discuss this thing, Atma Satyam, Brahma, Jagat Mithya, etc. with someone else. Either you teach, either you listen to, either you read, either etc. Or either you just dwell. You dwell without a company of anybody. No, for dwelling also I need somebody. Forget about it. Forget about it. You are sufficient. You are sufficient by yourself. And well, that is. So the bottom line, Vedantic bottom line is this, whatever you think. See how much liberty you have. There is no restraint. No, but my mind goes to the world. Yeah, that's anatma, mithya. Start thinking that way. My mind goes to the world. Let it go. Think world is mithya. That's what the Nidhyasanam is. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. So either do dhyanam of Atma, either do dhyanam of Anatma. Atma Satyam, Anatma Mithya. Where is the restraint? But in Upasana, restraint. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So, anyway, so nirbandha nahi, there is no force. overforce of the mind. Mind is not restrained. Nirbandha means restraint, strain, stress. Nibandhanam means karanam. Nirbandha means this stress. There is no stress, no restraint. So, whereas in Upasana, well, definitely meant for Punyam, mind is completely restrained to only one type of a thought, like depending upon japa dhyanam, then saying, etc., etc. Because we want Punya phalam, and therefore, so this is a difference between both. So, but definitely Upasana is a little tough, Nididhyasanam is enjoyable. And what type of nididhyasana we are talking about? Brahmabhyasa. Even physical posture also is not important. That's what we say. For dhyanam, nididhyasanam, etc., I have to sit straight. No. You can lie down also. Don't sleep. But that's all. That's the only condition. Don't sleep. When you lie down, and then if you sleep, that is better to sit. Then I want to do Atmadhyana. One person told me, I want to do Atmadhyanam while standing, not even sitting. In sitting also I get sleep. You can do anything, but provided your mind should be absorbed into this bottom line. This bottom line should be there. Which bottom line? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. That's all. Whatever you want to do. While eating chana also you can do meditation. Okay? No problem. Chana is mithya and the existence of chana is I, etc., etc. Anything. Believe me, really. You can start from any point and come to Brahman, because everything is Brahman. So much freedom. That's how a Vedantic student, after listening to certain years, should not ask about doing upasana. Go ahead now. But I have not done upasana, so my mind will not be focused. Don't worry, nididhyasana will be a little longer because we have not done upasana. No problem. But nididhyasana should be done longer. But it's a joy. He is going to tell now. It's a joy. It's a fun. Anyway, we'll see that. So this is verse 118. He said like this. And in 119, because in 118, well, upasana is given as a counter example of a nididhyasanam. It's unlike upasana, nididhyasanam is. And he explains further that how difficult it is to keep one kind of a thought. What he says, see, diyaha murti pratyaha santatyam, continuous flow. Santatasya bhavaha santatyam. Santataha. That's how we have got words santati. Santati progeny. That's we continue, right? A particular vamsha, lineage continues because of santati. So santatyam means continuous flow of what? Murti pratyaya. Pratyaya means a thought. So continuous flow of a thought, or thought of what? Murti, any form of a deity, Saguna Ishvara. So dhiyaha murti pratyaya. So continuous flow of the thought of a deity, continuous flow of the thought of a mind, dhiyaha, continuous flow of the thought of the mind centered on a particular form of the deity. Well, and that is the upasana. That's how it's described. How, but what kind of a form? Described in a dhyana shloka. That's the form. Yeah. Vishnu Sahasranama Dhyana Shloka is there. That's a form of a Vishnu, which is described in Dhyana Shloka. So, like that in Shiva also, there is a Dhyana Shloka. Either you do Shiva Mahimna Stotra or any other. There is a Dhyana Shloka for Shiva also. What kind of a form I should meditate upon? Well, go to Dhyana Shloka, you will find. Anya Anantaritam, being not distracted by any other thought. See, other than this form of Ishvara, well, you should not have any other type of a thought. You can see now how much restraint is there in upasana. And because mind, which is very fertile in its imagination, well, by law of association, moves from the deity to somewhere else. Like when you are meditating upon a Balakrishna, and you give a makhan, in his hand, and and you are meditating upon Balakrishna, and then you have come down, your mind has come to the makhan, butter, and from butter to cholesterol, from cholesterol to the friend who has got an attack. So, and you went to see him in hospital, and the doctor describes so many things, and then you thought you also are eating a lot of butter, and therefore that problem may be there. This heart attack may come to me, etc., etc. Today itself, I take an appointment. Gone. So mind is very fertile. It has its own channel. It has its own channel, and it runs in the channel. Like like that they make this one. What we call, I don't know. That's a tunnel. So the vehicle runs in tunnel. Same way, mind runs from one to other to other to other to other. So anya anantarita. So that mind should not be distracted. Mind should not go beyond the form of the Lord. So how much restraint it is, you think. Anyway, so maintenance of the thought flow is very difficult in upasana. Tatra means in upasana, ati nirbandha, extreme strain is there in the process. We may get even headache also. Why? Manasah chanchalatmanah, atmanah swarupam. Manasah, mind is extremely fluid, chanchalam, fluid. Like they give you an example, like that, mercury. Mercury is there in a plate, and you try to take a grain of mercury. You try to take, you will not be able to take. Better example is a sabudana. If you make a sabudana kheer and try to take a grain of a sabudana in your hand, it won't come. So like that it is. So manasaha chanchala atmana, chanchalam atmana, chanchala swarupa. So says, so this is how, like this sabudana or like this mercury, etc., we can't hold mind physically. And whose mind is chanchalam? Everyone's mind is chanchalam. Yeah, that is the consolation we have. In summer, in India especially, happens sometime, the electricity won't be there. So you are sweating so much and there is no power. But then you ask to your neighbor whether you have power. He said, no, I also don't have power. You feel relaxation, you feel relief. With the sweating you feel relief because he doesn't have a power. So, same way, manasaha chanchala swarupa. This mind is very, moving, it is very fluid. Whose mind is very fluid? Everyone's mind is fluid. So we feel relief. No problem. It's not that my mind is very fluid. Everyone's mind is very fluid. Chanchalatvam hi swarupam of nature. This is the nature of the mind. No problem. Upasana, problem. Chanchalatvam of the mind is a problem in upasana. In nididhyasana, no problem at all. Why? Why no problem? I have told you, but still we'll be discussing. But how do you know mind is chanchalam? Now he quotes Bhagavad Gita. You know the verse, 34th verse of the 6th chapter. He quotes now. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramati balavadrudam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. So, he says here, in 6th chapter, Krishna talks about a samadhi abhyasa, rupa nidhyasam. I have already told you, because he talks about a posture, he talks about a condition of the prana, condition of the mind, everything talks about. He talks about even asanam also, where you are going to sit, and etc. So many things. Means it's samadhi abhyasa nidhyasanam. And after listening about the samadhi abhyasa nidhyasanam in the entire chapter, in the last portion, Arjuna got frustrated and he said, you asked me to concentrate on one thing, means only on the self, etc. I don't think it is possible for me. Why? Chanchalam. Chanchalam is highly wandering, fluid kind of a thing. Pramathi, turbulent. He is describing mind. Chanchalam means highly wandering. Pramathi means turbulent. Turbulent means what? Disturbance in the mind can be carried to the sense organs and the body also. Churning, it churns. Churning. Pramathi means churning. Your disturbance in the mind it manifests even in the senses or manifest in the body also. That much mind is a turbulent. Okay, so Pramadhi means turbulent, churning. That's in first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita we saw. Sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishushyati vepathuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate. He describes his mind was so disturbed, Arjuna's mind, that disturbance manifested it at the level of a body also. That's called Pramadhi, churning, turbulent, etc. Balavat means strong. Strong means what? It can't be clamped. Look, head you can clamp, hands you can clamp, right? In fracture sometimes they do. You have to keep it for 1.5 months like this. You can clamp hands, you can clamp legs, you can clamp head also, but you can't clamp this mind. So let us clamp this mind in a surgery. Let's do a surgery. It is impossible. Dridam, firm in its hold. So once mind holds any thought, it is impossible to bring it back from that thought. So this is because this looks, every word looks very similar, right? Dridam and balavat and all that. So we have to give a little different meaning. Tasya nigraham sudushkaram iti manye. Tasya nigraham, manasaha nigraham. So this mastery of the mind is dushkaram, is extremely difficult. Iti manye, aham manye. Arjuna says, this is what I believe. Well, and he gives example also. Vayoho api. Vayoho api. Vayoho api means even it is like a vayu. Like stopping the wind is so difficult because it is not tangible object, right? If any tangible object means you can restrain it, but it is not tangible. And so, like a vayu, you can say. Shankaracharya ji says, no, not like vayu. Vayo api. So, it is more difficult than even to restrain. Mind is more difficult to restrain than even a vayu, etc. So, like wind, if you want to contain in a jar, you cannot contain it, right? Same way, mind also can't be put into, let's say, helmet. If you wear a helmet, then mind will not move out. No, that's not so. Even it pierces through the helmet and it goes out. Okay? So, otherwise it is so simple. Whenever I want to meditate, I will wear helmet so that mind will remain here. No, it's impossible. And Arjuna must be having that, they used to wear, warriors used to wear that kind of a thing. So Arjuna would not have asked this question. He is in the war, he is in battle. So he must have, I think, having that wear this kind of a thing. Still he is asking, means mind goes out, whatever you do. That's how it is. So Balavad Dhrudam Vayo api sudushkarama iti manni. It's very difficult to keep it on a given object. Similar type of thoughts, just one type of thought, one cannot keep it. That's how upasana is like walking on the rope. That's how it is. Let's see verse number 121. Apyabdipanan mahatah sumerunmoolanadapi api vanyashanat sadho vishamaschitta nigraha. So another example from Yoga Vasishtha now. The stopping the mind is, for stopping the mind, which is very difficult. There in Yoga Vasishtha they have given 3 examples in this particular verse. Mahatah abdihi panatapi. Mahata, abdi means the ocean. Apam dhyate iti abdihi. Apam dhyate, which holds the water. So that is ocean. Mahataha abdihi panat, drinking a vast ocean. Panam means drinking. Mahataha, very big. Drinking a vast ocean is so difficult, right? Same way, this mind, well, to keep on a given object, focusing on a given type of a thought is very, very difficult. Because we are discussing, comparing upasana and nidhyasana. So that is one example. Mahataha abdihi panatapi sumeruhu unmulanat api. Right? Sumeru unmulanat api. So Sumeru unmulanat. So it is Sumeru is a mythological, a mountain, very huge. Unmulanam. So lifting this a huge mountain. Even compared to that, even the mind is, to keep the mind focused on a given type of thought is very difficult. That's what he is giving example from a Yoga Vasishta. And the third one, Vannihi Ashanam, consuming the fire. Well, so, and suppose, let us say if some yogi is there who can accomplish all these three, like Agastya drank the whole ocean, etc. And this Sumeru Unmulanam, well, etc. Like Hanumanji, took the whole that Parvata. Even Ravana, I think I heard that he tried for a Kailasa to, he wanted to take the Shivji in his place because his Ishtadevata was Shivji. He said, why should I come to this Kailasa for worshipping him? Let me take him to my Lanka. So, I mean, anything is possible. Even if some yogi can accomplish all these three, and the third one is consuming a fire. But Mano Nigraha is tougher than these three. Hey Sadho, O noble one. So, this is Chitta Nigraha Vishaya. It is extremely difficult to keep the mind on a single type of thought continuously. It means Ishvara Dhyana, where you have to constantly meditate on Krishna or Devi or Shiva or anyone. So, your mind should just dwell on that form all the time. That's how Bhagavatam describes, that how one should meditate upon a given form of Ishvara. And that is from pada to the mastak, to the head, and from head to the toes. The mind should constantly think of that. And the glory, of course, of the limbs of Ishvara, etc. Anyway, so this is very difficult. All this is not required for Nididhyasana. That now he says in verse number 122. Kathanadau na nirbandha shrunkala baddha dehavat kintvanante tiha asadhyaihi vinodo natyavadhyah. So having talked about difficulties of upasana, Vidyaranya says that these difficulties are not there in Nididhyasana. You need not follow Ashtanga Yoga steps. Kathanadau na nirbandha. In following Nididhyasanam, starting from Kathanam, Tat Chintanam, Tat Kathanam, Anyonyan, Tat Prabodhanam, etc. We have seen that in verse number 106, right? Where Brahmabhyasana Nididhyasanam has been described. So in following Nididhyasanam like Kathanam is mutual sharing of the knowledge, or we have a wide range of choice, not just mutual sharing. We can read, we can write, we can listen, we can share, we can dwell, we can teach. All these things are there. Well, in that there is no nirbandha, there is no restraint. And you can think, right? Reading means unlike upasana. Upasana means you have to stop everything and just focus on this Shagunishvara, on a given form, limbs of the form, limbs of the Ishvara. Whereas here reading, writing, dwelling, sharing, your mind goes in various directions. Keep moving and moving. So restraint is not there. Shrunkala baddha dehavat. Upasana is like a like a body bound by the chain. Shrunkala. Shrunkala means a chain. Baddha means bound. Deha, body. So Upasana is like a body bound by the chain. So just imagine a person's hands and legs are chained and then he is asked to walk. How it is impossible, right? That is Upasana. That's how we said rope walking. Anyway, so unlike such restraint, Nididhyasanam has a wide field. Ananta itihasadhyaihi. Itihasa means here story. Well, Upanishad Upanishad gives Atma Jnanam through various stories, several stories. Narada and Sanat Kumara, then Uddalaka and Shvetaketu, and then our Nachiketa and Yamaraja, right? Story, it starts with a story in fact. And then the Sanat Kumara approached Narada, and then Sanat Kumara, and then Narada said, I want Atma Jnana. And then Narada said to Sanat Kumara, Sanat Kumara said to Narada, first let me know how much you know, how many Vidyas you know. And then he described all the 4 Vedas and these and that. And then Sanat Kumara said, you know everything, but you know only zeros without 1. So if you put a 1 in front, then all zeros have a value. Otherwise 0 has no value. If you take out the 1, what is the value? No value. So very beautifully, so this all, Nachiketa, Yamaraja, several stories and there are several examples also. Mundakopanishad gives an example of 2 birds, right? So, Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhayo Samanam Vruksham Parishasva Jati. Anashnan, what is that? So, Dvasuparna Sayuja Sakhayo Samanam Vruksham Parishasva Jati. There are 2 birds sitting on a bird tree, look similar, Sakhayo, Samana Khyatihi. They look similar, they are friends, whatever. And one is constantly eating the fruits which are there on the tree, and another is just watching. Anashna nanyaha abhichakashiti. Anashna, without eating. So I will just sit. All the stories. And then from there it starts. Jivatma and Paramatma, etc. Paramatma is a Bhokta and Jivatma is Bhokta and all that. Anyway, so Mundakopanishad also gives an example. Then also it gives an example of archery, right? Dhanur Gruhitva Upanishadam Mahasram, etc. etc. Or else chariot in our Kathopanishad. Atmanam Rathinam Viddhi Shariram Rathamevatu. Right? So Indriyani Hayanahu, etc. etc. So, imagery. So, many examples are there. You can dwell on any example and land in Vedantic teaching. So, mind goes in various directions. And these are, through all of this we can learn Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, etc. Even if mind runs in the world throughout, we can still think Anatma is a Mithya. So your mind will travel in 2 directions in Nididhyasana. Either Atma, either Anatma. Which is not the case in Upasana. In Upasana that is not the case. Atma Satyam Jagat Anatma Mithya. No. Just focus on the form of Ishvara. Don't think at that time, oh, this form is Mithya. Our Swamiji told that form is Mithya and their name is Mithya. Therefore Vishnu is Mithya with a given form. Chatur, this Shankha Chakra, Gada, Padma, etc. Oh, form is Mithya. That is not a Upasana. That is not Upasana. If that is Mithya, where is the question of Vishnave Namaha and then chanting Vishnu Sahasranama mentally? All thing has gone. So definitely Upasana means you meditate on Vishnu with this. But Swamiji, every form is a form of Ishvara. Then I want to meditate. I don't want to meditate on Chaturhasta, etc. And then Shankha Chakra Gadapan. I want to, if every form is a form of a Vishnu, Ishvara, I want to meditate upon the chair as a Vishnu. You can't. You can't invoke a devotee if you think chair as a Vishnu. You can't. You need a form where your mind will just get captured. you need a very attractive form. Wherever there is attraction, you need not have to bother about keep the mind focused on that. Any object of attraction, mind will just go there. Sometimes they keep even that some kind of a this what we call aura kind of a thing, very very lighted. So your mind will remain on the face. That's how your this just think. I go to Tirupati for that purpose only. Really, I go to Tirupati and stand in the line for 6 hours, 7 hours, just to see what Bhagavan has, what mala he has, golden malas and beautiful other decorations, and I just go for that, believe me. I just love it. So that is required. You cannot think that this form, this chair is a Vishnu. Let me meditate on that. You can't. Therefore, not only that, the second reason is whatever the forms given by the Shastra, that only you should meditate on to generate punyam. All this is these are the rules. So people used to argue like this: any form is a form of Ishvara, therefore I can meditate on any form. You can't. You have to meditate on the prescribed form by the Shastra. That only will generate adrishta. And other reason I have given you, the logic is because all the forms are very attractive, and they make more attractive by decorating. So anyway, so this is regarding Upasana, of course, but then in Nididhyasana we will not have to worry. Well, Atmadhyanam and Anatmadhyanam, both you can do. And there are only two things. Therefore, mind, let it think anything. Mind just thinks about the self, consciousness, etc., which is nityam, etc., etc. Or mind goes to this world. Well, it is anatma, it is mithya. Still it is dhyana, nididhyasana. Yato nishcharati manaschanchalam asthiram, etc. Bhagavan said. But here in Dridrisha Viveka it is been told, yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhaya. Yatra yatra manoyati, yati, gacchati. Mind goes, yatra yatra, wherever it goes, let it go. Tatra tatra samadhaya. This person is absorbed. Samadhi, absorbed. He is absorbed in the self. Because everything is manifestation of the self. Whether you see a pot, whether you see a jar, whether you see anything, from your mind that mrid buddhi, clay buddhi does not go. If you know that it is all clay, you see pot or you see anything. So therefore, Atma Satyam, etc., you meditate, or Anatma, well, you think of the world, no problem. Think the world is mithya. Given form, name form is mithya. And therefore, in Nididhyasanam, no restraint of the thoughts, unlike Upasana. So, this is how, because, and in the other things also, in Dridrisha Viveka we have seen also, Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam, Namacheti Amsha Panchakam, Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam, Jagad Rupam Tatodvayam, Asti Bhati Priyam. Everything is Asti Bhati Priyam. That is Brahma Rupam, that is the self. Everything exists, everything shines, because definitely it is not self-shining. World is not self-shining, but it is shining. Well, on account of consciousness. This book is not shining on its own. Well, then it is shining on the account of this light. That's it. Therefore, if you are able to read this notes or book or something, well, appreciate that the light is there. We feel that as if this book is self-shining. Therefore, you are able to read. No. If you just switch off the light, then you will find it is not self-shining. So the whole world is anatma, jadam, which cannot shine. That's called jadam on its own. But it shines. You are able to say this is, that is, this is, that is. Well, it is pervaded by the consciousness. It exists, well, because of consciousness. It shines because of consciousness. This is how it is. So, Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam, and therefore the name and form is mithya. So, mind has gone to the United States in that Freedom Tower. Suppose, no problem. Oh, I should call back the mind. Need not. Anatma mithya dhyana. Or else the self, the consciousness is Satyam. So I am is Satyam, etc. I have told you. So any kind of a thinking allowed. The basis is this: Atma Satyam, Anatma Mithya, Jagan Mithya. Jivo Brahmaivana Aparaha. I am non-different from this consciousness, Brahman, etc. So we have not to restrain the mind, unlike Upasana. So Nididhyasanam is a fun. That's what he says. Diyaha vinodaha bhavati. Diyaha vinodaha. Vinodaha fun. Diyaha, sixth case. It's a fun. Nididhyasanam is a fun for this intellect. But Swamiji, you are saying sixth case and translating as a for. Yeah, sixth case is used for in the sense of fourth case also. Okay? So, Ashvasya Gasaha. Grass for Ashva. Grass for horse. Grass of horse also you can say, but it is better is grass for the horse. Ashvasya. Sixth case. Sixth case is used prevalently even in the sense of fourth case. Instead of, you can write for. Anyway, so Diyaha Vinodaha Bhavati, it is a fun. Nididhyasanam is a fun for the intellect. Because basically, the idea is all the time you are singing your glories. That's a fun. That's the only fun. Right? Self-condemnation is not a fun. Self-glory is a fun. So all the time, have a glory. I am Aham Nitya. I am essence of everything. I am essence of this entire Costco. You can say. Entire Costco. What are you saying? In Costco, all the chocolates and beautiful things. I am the essence of that. What are you? You all the time thinking of food. What can I do? This is the only thing I have for the fun. Okay? And therefore, anyway, so I am essence. Really, I am talking about it. Because all these are very attractive. Mind goes. No problem. No problem. Mind will definitely go because of sanskara. It will go to the places, objects, which you have found, a pleasure in past. So it will go. Immediately think. That's a name and form. The existence and it is shining because of me, the consciousness. Where is the chocolate without consciousness? Tell me. Show me the existence of a conscious, show me the existence of a chocolate without consciousness. When you say chocolate is, it automatically, it precedes by consciousness is. Everything is pervaded by consciousness. Chocolate shines in consciousness, non-separate from the consciousness. Everything is basically, and eating of the chocolate gives you a sense of self-worth, self-acceptance, fullness, temporary fullness. Well, that's what you are. Chocolate becomes a nimitta. I am specifically talking about chocolates because America has, thousands and thousands and thousands of types of chocolates. More than the variety available in India, definitely. And people are fond of eating chocolates all whole day. Anytime their mouth is full with the chocolates. Average American is eating more sugar than an average Indian. That's what the survey tells. Anyway, whatever it is, it has its own glory. But what I am saying is, ultimately, let the mind goes to a object of an attraction where I have derived a pleasure in the past. Let it go. Think immediately. Be alert that you are sitting in meditation. Nididhyasanam. You are doing Nididhyasanam. And think that is mithya. There is no existence of an object other than consciousness. There is no awareness of the object other than consciousness. So it shines in you. It is non-separate from you. And you are basically Ananda. Well, that manifests when you experience an object. So this is how Diya Vinodaha Bhavati. There is always a fun for the mind wherever it goes. And well, of course, it thinks about as the self. When I am the consciousness, well, I am Nitya. I am free from this birth and death. I am free from any decrepitude, etc. So there is no question of feeling boredom. Why you are going and discussing like this? Because he gives an example, Natyavat. Like when you are seeing a drama, when you are watching a TV serial, etc. I mean, a comedy TV serial, etc. Charlie Chaplin, this, that, etc. You are enjoying every moment. Every moment you are enjoying. Except that advertisement in between. And then you feel it is a headache. Then you just stop the volume. And so people are enjoying TV serials. Or you are enjoying dance, let's say now. Dance program. Constantly enjoying. Right? So Diya Vinodaha Bhavati. There is a fun of the mind all the time. Same way Nididhyasanam is a fun. Because all the time it's your glory. Either you think of a world, either you think of the self, it's your glory. All the any object you think of is your glory. You are the upadana of everything. You are Jagat Karan Brahman. Therefore, this is a way, I am giving you some material for Brahmabhyasa, Nididhyasanam or Samadhi Abhyasa, whatever you like to do. So this is, he gives example, Natyavat Vinodaha Bhavati, like a seeing a dance program, etc. This doing Nididhyasanam also is a fun for the mind. Diya. 123. Chidevatma jagan mithya ityatra pari चिदेवात्मा जगन्मिथ्येति अत्र पर्यवसानतः निदिध्यासन विक्षेपः नेतिहासादिभिर्भवेत्. So, well, I think the time is over. Anyway, Vidyaranya says here that, well, no doubt Upanishad has got an Atma part of the teaching. It talks about Nachiketa Upakhyanam and still there is no distraction because ultimately it ends up in the teaching of the self. And that teaching of the self is Atma Satya, Anatma Mithya, etc. And therefore, even though we read all these stories, our will not be mind taken away from the Vedanta, etc. So ultimately, Paryavasanata, I say, ultimately wherever you start, from any point in the world, or from even a jiva standpoint, from an individual standpoint, from a father, mother, any standpoint, Paryavasanata, ultimately you can culminate into the self, right? So it converges it focuses into this Chideva Atma. It focuses into the consciousness, because consciousness is the basis. That's only reality. So when you dwell into that, when you analyze it, you will end up in the consciousness that is yourself. And therefore, nothing to worry. Let the mind go in any direction. Yatra yatra manoyati, tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever the mind goes, this person has a samadhi all the time. Means he is absorbed in the self. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.